hello guys and welcome to Season 4, and I'm used to saying of our Aston Martin save, but not anymore. Welcome to Season 4, but Season 1 of our Ferrari tenure, and really this is the big season, the huge season where we try and get Ferrari both the Constructors and the Drivers' title. If you didn't watch Tuesday's episode and are thinking, why on earth is he now sat as Ferrari team principal, go back and watch that. That'll explain everything. But basically, we've took over at Ferrari. We've had to get Mick Schumacher in. They wanted the Schumacher name back at Maranello. And here we are. We are well in the fight. If pre-season testing is anything to go by, we've got a real chance of winning both championships this year. Lando Norris is in car 1, spearheading that attack. Mick Schumacher in car 2. We're looking very, very strong indeed. And of course, as every season does now, we start off in Bahrain. 57 laps around here. First Grand Prix 2004, Pedro de la Rosa still got that lap record, 1 minute 31. If we have a look at the expected strategy, it's a two-stop, can be quite hard on the tyres around here. Soft and mediums are the optimal, and the car attributes acceleration, low speed and medium speed cornering. Remember, we're in a much better car, a much better outfit. We're going to be hoping to win most races. I've just seen that Ferrari truck in the background. That's a pretty lovely sight. We enjoyed our time at Aston Martin, but it's time now to look to the future at Scuderia Ferrari. We'll see you in qualifying. I'm going to get through all the practice sessions, our first practice sessions at Ferrari, and we'll see you in qualifying for the Bahrain season opener here on the channel.
Welcome to the archipelago of Formula One. Bahrain might have a small land footprint, but it's showing its big spirit right now in the grandstands. Either way, it's time for another fantastic weekend of Grand Prix racing. The Bahrain International Circuit is a challenging track, and the cars routinely have to brake from high gear to low to take the narrow turns. With the need for downhill braking, the risk of locking up is one drivers will need to manage. It's all about focus and balance to get victory here. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. Let's get this underway.
And it's got to be said that Q1 in our first race as team principal has not gone particularly well. Mick Schumacher has been knocked out in P16. That is a huge blow for him. We're going to assess a few things with Mick Schumacher. We're not too impressed with that performance at all. Meanwhile, Lando Norris did only go out once and was comfortable in P7, so he's got an extra set of tyres. But yeah, shock. Mick Schumacher out in Q1. So then final lap of Q3. Lando Norris green through the first sector, green through the second. He's had the pace whole weekend. Will he be able to put himself on pole position? Verstappen and Leclerc look an amazing pairing at Red Bull. It must be said straight away, they look so quick. But we have got the car to challenge him. What can Lando Norris do here? He's going to be the last one to cross the line. Lando Norris, he's going to cross the line and go P3. Only 0.2 of a second off Max Verstappen, and we've saved a set of soft compound tyres for the race as well with Lando. So Lando Norris is going to be on the second row of the grid alongside the man that we were going to sign initially, Pierre Gasly. Verstappen starts how he ended last season, on top. Let's have a look at the strategy. Mick Schumacher got a lot of work to do. Right then guys, first strategy as Ferrari team boss, and we're going to change it up a little bit. Lando Norris, he's got a set of fresh soft compound tyres to use at the start. We're going to do that. It's debatable whether we're going to go soft or mediums at the end. That's what we're not too sure on. I believe last year we went medium at the end and it really worked for us. There is a chance for a safety car around here, so that's the option for him. He's going to be starting on fresh soft compound tyres. Mick Schumacher's got two sets of softs, fresh softs. It makes sense for him to go soft, medium, soft. That's what he's going to be doing. So slightly different races. Lando's very much at the front. Mick Schumacher's got a recovery drive. Let's get our first season as Ferrari team principal underway. I can't wait for this. 5 red lights coming right up.
Here we go with the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we are looking at that man, Lando Norris, who's having a go at Charles Leclerc down into turn 1. Great work from him. He's going to take the outside line. That Red Bull looks very, very different, doesn't it, in that new livery? Leclerc manages to keep hold of P2. Norris is already having a few expletives on the team radio, which Xavi's having to deal with. But not a bad start from Lando Norris at all. Meanwhile, Mick Schumacher has got a lot of work to do here, and we really need him to get past these cars. He was in a Williams and a Haas. He's been in these cars. He's now in a Ferrari. He shouldn't be down in 16th. So now Mick Schumacher has got some work to do, and I'm sure he's going to start making his way through the pack very, very quickly. But Lando Norris at the moment just sitting behind these Red Bulls. And we've also got a new helmet for the two Ferrari guys as well, which you may have noticed there. I don't know if we can get quite a better view of that. I don't believe we can. But we've got this sort of retro Michael Schumacher helmet on. Or a tribute to him. So yeah, something a little bit different as well. We've done a lot of effort on this season. If you want to see any of the mods you're using in your games, they are in the description below, because these guys do put a lot of work into this, and it makes it a lot more interesting for us to watch and create. So yeah, lap 1, it's Verstappen who leads from Leclerc, Norris down in P3, Gasly P4, Ricciardo P5, Sainz P6, Perez 7, Ocon 8th in the Lotus Renault. Then come the two Mercedes of Russell and Bottas. Schumacher still stuck behind Sargent, and we're going to tell him to get a shift on already. If he thought Gunter Steiner were a bad boss, he better get ready for this. Lap 2. It took a little while, I'm not going to lie. Mick Schumacher's finally got past the Williams of Logan Sargent, but you can see in front, he's allowed a 2-second gap to the cars in front. Yeah, it's quite concerning, his lack of pace in the car, which Lando Norris, I mean, they enjoyed it in the garage. That's his first pass of the season. Well done, guys. Looking very suave in the new overalls as well. But yeah, he's allowed 2 seconds to Vettel now, so he's got a lot of work to do here, Mick Schumacher. He may have to try the undercut, but now he should, in clear air, be able to use this car and get going. Meanwhile, if we're listening to Xavi, which is nice, it's nice listening to Xavi, Lando Norris, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and currently he's attacking Charles Leclerc, and we're going to tell him, I tell you what mate, if we're getting one Red Bull, we might as well have another. And Lando Norris, he's got past one Red Bull, he's now diving to the inside of Max Verstappen. Will he get a move done here? He's down the inside of Max Verstappen. Beautiful work from the Brit in the Ferrari, and Ferrari are leading the Grand Prix on lap 4. Bearing in mind also, we've got fresh soft compound tyres on. We might just bolt here. This might be the plan for us, but what a move that were. In fact, we're going to take another look at it because I enjoyed it so much. He got past Leclerc and then thought, you know what, I'll have you as well, Max Verstappen, and he's done an absolute brilliant job on him. And that is it. We are into the lead. Lando Norris carrying the Ferrari fight here early doors. Max Verstappen's going to get DRS down this next straight here, which is going to bring him right up to the back of Lando Norris. But we're just going to hold on to this. I think we can hold on. We can possibly go a little bit longer and use DRS to overcut Max Verstappen. But as it stands, it's Norris from Verstappen, Leclerc, Gasly in 4th. Gasly's doing a great job in the Aston Martin, back in the green now as well. Of Aston Martin. Isn't it weird having a grid without Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso on it? I'll leave you to ponder that for lap 4. Lando Norris and Max Verstappen are having a right ding-dong battle. Lap 6, as you can see, it's been a fantastic fight so far between these three guys at the front, but Lando Norris has got all the pace in the world to fight Max Verstappen. I think there's a lot of people in real life who believe this as well, that if Lando Norris had the car, he could possibly challenge Max Verstappen. And we'll just have a look from Lando's point of view here. He ducks right, then left. Max Verstappen goes defensive, but not defensive enough, because Lando Norris with that DRS can just get past, and Lando Norris is doing fantastically well so far. The same can't be said of Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher looks incredibly slow at this moment. We've also given him Pete Bonington, who's obviously the best race engineer, really arguably on the grid. Obviously working with Lewis Hamilton for all those years. He's got possibly the best race engineer, and at the moment Mick can just not catch the Haas, the Maserati Haas of Sebastian Vettel. And that Maserati Haas looks a lovely livery, by the way. We were waxing lyrical about the Audi all season last season, but that Maserati I really like the look of. Schumacher's having to harvest a little bit of ERS now as he's pulling up to the back of these cars, and then we will go again very shortly with Mick Schumacher, lap 7. Lap 13, we've just seen Valtteri Bottas into the pit lane. He's one of the first runners in. He's come off the soft compound tyres onto the hard. And yeah, he's coming out. He's going to be on a 2-stop, I would imagine. Soft, hard, medium, maybe soft, hard, soft. We'll see. Again, we'll just have a look at this battle at the front because Norris and Verstappen are just keeping it clean. And I believe he's managed to get past Leclerc as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's 3 wide into the corner, and the man, the myth, the legend at the moment, Lando Norris, fantastic work. And look at our guy, absolutely loving life in the Ferrari garage. And Lando Norris is currently just about, it must be said, he's still battling with Max Verstappen. And it's a Red Bull that's gone off. There's a Red Bull off. And I believe that Red Bull is Max Verstappen, who's just gone off the track. Oh my word.
Now here we see
the battling between the two. Max Verstappen just a little bit over-eager, maybe a little bit impatient. He's not had a car doing this to him for a little while. And Max Verstappen is all the way down, and he's actually now helping Mick Schumacher out a little bit. But Norris now has only got one Red Bull to contend with, and that is the Red Bull of Charles Leclerc. Mick Schumacher now could really do with catching up to Max Verstappen if he possibly could, and we're going to tell him to deploy a little bit here and try and catch up to Max because we know the car's got the pace. Just for a bit of context, Mick Schumacher is lapping 8 tenths a lap less than 8 tenths a lap slower than Lando Norris. Just bear that in mind. Lap 13. Lap 14, couple of little bits to mention. Charles Leclerc has just overtaken Lando Norris. I'm not too concerned about this. I think we've got the pace to beat Leclerc today. One thing I am quite enjoying, and I know I shouldn't be doing this because I'm now the Ferrari team principal, but Pierre Gasly is having a great race behind him in P3 at this moment in time. It's bringing a smile to my face watching him. Yeah, fantastic work from Pierre. Meanwhile, Mick Schumacher has done something good. He's got in the DRS of Max Verstappen. So something positive at last for Mick Schumacher. He's now in the DRS of one of the quickest cars. So it's Ferrari versus Red Bull for 13th and 14th. It's Ferrari versus Red Bull for 1st and 2nd. Maybe the boy can do it. Mick Schumacher has just overtaken Max Verstappen. That is great work from him. We're really happy to see that. Look, Mick Schumacher's not the finished article yet. We understand that. We're going to have to do a lot of work with Mick, and it's a shame we're 3 seasons in because we could have got him quicker. But Mick Schumacher, he's not at the pace, but that's what we want to see in the Ferrari garage. And I'm sure the guys in the marketing and commercial teams will be absolutely loving that overtake as well. So well done, Mick Schumacher up to P9 as Gasly is in for the hard compounded tyre, as is Vettel, as is Magnussen, as is Russell. So a lot of cars coming in for the hard compounded tyre. Mick Schumacher's going to be in for the mediums very shortly. We're not going to be using the hard compounded tyre all afternoon. It's going to be softs and mediums for us, especially for Schumacher. Schumacher's got a lot of soft compound tyres as well. So there's a lot of work for Mick to do here, but he's going to have a bit of a tyre advantage as well on some of his competitors. So Schumacher, he's now back behind Verstappen, but we're in this race with him. Norris leads from Leclerc. Interesting strategies here. Charles Leclerc's in for the hard compounded tyre for Red Bull. Very, very interesting move. Obviously, we're going to be going on to the mediums on the next stint. So, that's a really interesting move by Red Bull. I'm not sure what Verstappen hasn't pit yet. I'll be intrigued to see what Verstappen does. If he decides to go for the hard or the medium. We've just seen Mick Schumacher overtaking Verstappen again. Great work from him. Lando Norris is in next lap. Schumacher also won't be far behind him. Lap 17. Right, Lando Norris pitting this lap, as is Mick Schumacher. We're not going to struggle with the double stack. We've got enough room now. Let's have a look. Max Verstappen onto the mediums. That looks like the optimal strategy. But if there's a massive hole for Max Verstappen in the pit lane. That could be absolutely huge for him. We've got a yellow in sector 3. We're not going to get any safety cars, anything like that. Gasly, what's Gasly gone on to? Gasly's onto the hard compounded tyre. We're going to get to see Sergio Perez, the ex-Red Bull man, locking up here. His soft compound tyres are nearly done, and I think we can see that there. Right, we're going to stick with this. Lando Norris, where is he in relation to the pit lane? It's 2.6 away. We'll come back when he's into the box. Here we go then, Lando Norris into the pits. We've deployed heavily on that last lap. Ricciardo's in as well for the McLaren, sorry. So let's have a look. Ferrari, here we go. Medium tyres are on. There's no hold for Lando Norris, and he gets out in perfect time, to be fair to him. Great work by the team. And now Mick Schumacher's coming in for his pit stop as well. 2.5 seconds for Norris. Let's see what Mick Schumacher gets here. It's 2.6 for Schumacher. Not the quickest stop in the world. But let's have a look where he filters back out. Remember, Verstappen was battling with Mick. Lando Norris, where's he come out? Perez is in front, but Lando Norris has come out in front of Charles Leclerc, and this is the time now for Lando Norris to get away if he possibly can. He's on the quicker tyre. Schumacher has come out in a big bunch of cars, and Schumacher is down all the way in 15th. He lost the position. But let's have a look around him. What have we got? Albon and a few of the hard compound tyre runners. He's not had the greatest pit stop there, Mick Schumacher. Let's have a little look at this replay, because maybe we can assess this. He just didn't get out in front of that gaggle of cars. That was the main issue, and he's had to slow up as the Audi got past him. We can maybe have a look at that. It's a Ferrari-esque mistake from us, which we've got to take responsibility for. But the good thing is Verstappen is behind us, and we've got a Nissan of, I can't think of his name. We've got a Nissan behind us. I'll come back to you on that one. But Schumacher now has got Albon to overtake, and then a few hard compound runners. But at the sharp end, it's still Leclerc versus Norris for P1. Just had a spin on track. Guan Yu Zhou, it was a good opportunity to get the Lotus Renault livery, and that was really why I did it. And the Aston Martins as well. But yeah, Guan Yu Zhou losing a place. That's going to help Mick Schumacher. Currently sat in P12. He's struggling to make his way through at the moment, Mick Schumacher. We're currently harvesting a little bit of the RS just to have another go when we can. But we're holding Max Verstappen behind. That's the main thing as well. I'm going to have to tell you who this man is, because it's frustrating me as well. Zane Maloney is the man that is between Mick Schumacher and Max Verstappen at this moment in time. So he's having a great race for the Nissan, in fairness to him. Norris and Leclerc still going at it, just really sharing the lead with the DRS, really. That's what's causing the overtakes. But there's been some cracking battling, and we're just going to harvest a little bit of the RS now for Lando, who's having a great race at this moment in time. Meanwhile, Schumacher, he's just harvesting a little bit of the RS as well, because we are going to start really trying to push past these cars very shortly. Lap 28. Zane Maloney. Let's have a look at him in the Nissan. He's just dropped a bit of a clanger, locked up the Nissan on the front right, and the Nissan has now let Max Verstappen on the back of Mick Schumacher, which is not ideal, because Mick Schumacher does not seem to have the pace to get past a Haas. He's stuck in a DRS train in his defence, and maybe we've got to look at ourselves and manage Mick a little bit better than we have done in this race. He does need a bit more managing. That's why we've got Pete Bonington on it, we've got Bono on him, but I'd expect a little bit better with Mick in the Ferrari, and I'm sure the Italian newspapers would have been wanting a bit more of a fairy tale in this first race. Meanwhile, Lando Norris is still battling for the lead with Charles Leclerc, doing a fantastic job at this moment in time. We're going to be having a look at the strategy options in a second. If we have a look at the pre-race report, we would be expecting, he's on hards, we would be expecting him in around lap 38 to 40, and he's going to be possibly going on to the softs or the medium, so it might be a case of us doing what he doesn't do, but I think we may go on to the mediums, because I think we've got the race pace to beat Leclerc on track today. Schumacher, he's got tough compound tyres to go on to, but it's going to be interesting to see if we can get an undercut with them, and they are fresh soft compound tyres as well. That's something to note. Lap 34. We'll just have a quick rundown. Norris, Leclerc, Ricciardo's in P3. He's doing fantastically well for the Mercedes, back in the orange and black colours. Esteban Ocon in the Lotus Renault, battling with Carlos Sainz in the Aston Martin. Aston Martin on for good double points this afternoon. Bottas overtaking Gasly as well into P6. Then comes Magnussen and Albon, the new Audi team lineup, and George Russell in the Mercedes in P10. Lap 39 for coming on to 40. Lando Norris is in for his pit stop. We're going on to medium tyres. This is the big call of the night. We're coming in quite early, but we're going to try and use these tyres now to the end. We can push on these. 2.6 seconds, it's not the best for Lando Norris. It's where he comes out now, and we're trying to get in front of this gaggle of cars that's coming down the pit straight, led by George Russell. Where is Lando Norris going to come out here? Is he going to get out in front of him? I think he just about is, and that is possibly as well as that could have gone. And now we're going to deploy on the ERS as well push on the fuel. Sector 2, competitors locked up. I don't know who that was. Are we going to get a replay? I'm not sure we are. But Lando Norris, we've managed to get him out into clean air. It's Yuki Tsunoda who's locked up. We'll have a little look at this. He gets a chance to have a look at the new Williams livery, which looks very similar to the old one, to be fair. But he's locked up. Mick Schumacher now, he's got to be thinking about his pit stop next lap. So now it's all on what Lando Norris can do and catch up with these medium tyres. Mick Schumacher in very shortly. Right, we've got pit stops galore happening now, and here we go. Danny Ricciardo's in, Sainz is in. Verstappen's in as well. What we thought with Mick Schumacher is we're going to bring him in now for this soft compounded tyre. I'll be interested to see what Verstappen's going on to. He's going on to softs, as is Mick Schumacher. We don't need to be held, we're being held. And I think Verstappen's jumped him in the stops. That's an absolute blow again for Mick Schumacher. He's now got to get past Max Verstappen on track. Meanwhile, Lando Norris is absolutely bombing away here. At this moment in time, he's catching Esteban Ocon in the Lotus Renault. Schumacher comes back out P15. He's stuck behind a Williams once again. And straight away, we're going to be saying to him, right, let's get past him now, Mick. You've got fresh, soft compound tyres. I'm not sure if Verstappen's were. They weren't. So he's now got to catch up to Max Verstappen. He's got to get past Yuki Tsunoda and then get Verstappen. This will come to Mick Schumacher towards the end with these fresh, soft compound tyres, but he needs to make it work. One man who is making it work is definitely Lando Norris. He's pushing like a madman here, and we're going to be keeping an eye on when Charles Leclerc decides to come in. Is he going to come in this lap? He isn't. He's going to carry on. Lando Norris now going left and right, looking at this Lotus. We're not going to ride on board. We're going to ride on the TV camera. We're going to get DRS down this next straight. He goes down the inside. It's a brave move from the British driver. And to be fair to him, it's great work, and he's passed him before the DRS. So meanwhile, Mick Schumacher looks like he's heeding my warnings, and he's got past the Williams of Yuki Tsunoda, which is good work from him. And now he's got a job to catch up to Max Verstappen, who's pulled out a 3-second gap on Mick Schumacher. Can you believe it? No, we can't. Lando Norris, new fastest lap. This could all be working in Lando Norris's favour. Lap 42. Right, is Mick Schumacher going to gain some places here? He's been deploying ERS. He's just took the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We've got cars coming out of the pit lane. Mick Schumacher is up into the points for the first time in this race. What a good bit of driving from Mick Schumacher. Got him in early. He's on the soft compounded tyre. Great work from him. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen, I think Max Verstappen's had an issue. We didn't get a replay of it. We didn't get to see anybody running wide, but Max Verstappen's all the way down in P16. Mick Schumacher, yes, he's got Guan Yu Zhou on the back of him. Guan Yu Zhou on 77% soft compound tyres. And in front of Mick Schumacher, he's still got Russell, Ocon and Leclerc to pit. What is the gap between the leads? 41 seconds. He's not going to catch him. But there could be a decent point scoring position, this from Mick Schumacher. Maybe it won't be a the bad back pages in the Italian newspapers after all. Leclerc is in. This is a big moment. This is a huge moment in this race. I reckon Lando Norris is going to be about, what, 10 seconds clear? Let's have a look. It's a decent stop from the Red Bull guys, as you would expect. Schumacher's just lost the place to Guan Yu Zhou. Now, where is Charles Leclerc going to come out on circuit? Let's have a look. As he comes down the pit lane, Charles Leclerc, Norris is well clear. Norris is... Bloody hell, he's already up to turn 3, turn 4. And Charles Leclerc has come out 11 seconds behind Lando Norris. Lando, this is all yours, my friend. And Leclerc, yes, he's on soft compound tyres, but they're on 86% already. It's all on Lando now to just bring this home for Ferrari. Meanwhile, we're just going to tell Mick Schumacher, just harvest a little bit, mate. Let's get this battery sorted out, and then we'll start... In fact, we'll catch Ocon first, then we'll do that. That makes a little bit more sense. We'll tell him to deploy, then we'll harvest. Lap 44, this is Norris's to lose. We just don't want any daft mistakes. And we're keeping an eye on the tyre temps as well. They are getting a little bit warm, these medium compound tyres, but I reckon Leclerc's tyres are going to die before ours do. Could we win our first race as team principal for Ferrari? And Mick Schumacher up to P7. George Russell just pitted for soft compound tyres. Mick Schumacher now up into P5. Charging ERS, and he's got Esteban Ocon in front of him. I reckon he might be able to get Esteban Ocon, and to be fair, if he does, he may catch Carlos Sainz, although his tyres are slowly overheating. I reckon now would be the time for Mick to get past him and start making light work of him. We're going to keep a close eye on this battle down the start-finish straight. We'll just fast-forward it on a little bit. Let's have a look what happens down this start-finish straight for Mick Schumacher. Will he be able to get past him? I'd rather him get past on the second DRS straight, but here comes Mick Schumacher. He had a dodgy start to life at Ferrari, going out in Q1 at the weekend, but he's really making his mark on this now. We're going to continue to charge ERS. He's not great at the cornering and the exits. That's something we're going to have to work on. Leclerc's cut the gap to Norris to 7.6 seconds now, but those tyres are wearing. And I'm sure we're going to see Schumacher get past Ocon very, very shortly. Lap 47, your top 10 is Norris from Leclerc, Ricardo Sainz, Ocon, Schumacher, Zhou, Gasly in P8, I forgot his name again, Zane I think it is, and Perez in P10. Zane Maloney, we've had a little bit of commentary on him today. We've been highlighting him a little bit, and it's a good job I'm not the Aston Martin team principal, because I'd be going and knocking on his door after the race. He's smashed into Pierre Gasly. Obviously we've had a lot of good races with Pierre Gasly, so we'd be very disappointed with that. You may look at the top and say, look, Leclerc's cut it to 3.7 seconds. To be fair, we've been managing it with tyres and ERS as well. So Lando Norris, like I said, has just got 2 more laps to negotiate for the Scuderia. Mick Schumacher is now having a real ding-dong battle with Esteban Ocon. I think he's going to get P5. We've got ERS saved. We are going to push on the last lap, which I'm sure you'll join us for. But at the moment, Norris managing the gap. Schumacher overtakes Ocon. We may as well have a look at this overtake, because hopefully this is going to be the last one we see. But it's DRS down the start-finish straight. The Lotus Renaults have had a cracking first day back in the sport. Great for them. Currently running in 6th and 7th, those two guys. But yeah, we'll come back when we come on to the final lap. So here we go then, Lando Norris, final lap of the Grand Prix. It's all this to lose. We're just going to tell him to go light on the tyres, just make sure he brings it home. Meanwhile, Mick Schumacher's going to be told, right, it's hammer time now, we've got to get past him. Just keep in front of Ocon and Zhou. We're going to use all the, in fact, we're going to put him on defend, use the ERS that we've saved up, push on the fuel, and see if Mick Schumacher can defend. Let's have a look. He's got Ocon right up behind him here, and if he can manage to hold these two guys off on his debut, on his debut for Ferrari, I will be very impressed. Remember, Mick Schumacher started in P16 this afternoon, but at the moment he seems to have the measure of Ocon and Zhou. I reckon with a better qualifying position, he's going to be very much a steady driver for us here at Ferrari. He will score decent points. We're going to work with him, develop him as much as we can, and then I think we've got a lot to be optimistic about. We've got Piastri in reserve, who's a very, very quick driver as well, it must be said. We're just having a little look here. Carlos Sainz in front, he's on 23% tyres. We're going to tell Mick Schumacher to deploy. If he'd have gone a lap earlier, he may have been able to get Carlos Sainz. He's gaining by the second here. I think Carlos Sainz for Aston Martin's just going to hold on. It's down to 1 second now, the gap. But Lando Norris crosses the line and wins on his debut for Ferrari. Grazie, grazie. Well done, Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc, great performance on his debut for Red Bull. But we're going to stick with Mick Schumacher, just in case he manages to get a run on Carlos Sainz into this final corner. I don't think he's quite going to do it, although the tyres of the Aston Martin have dropped off. Is he going to do it? Mick Schumacher has got DRS. He's going to dive to the left-hand side. He's not quite going to get it. But Mick Schumacher, fantastic work.
That was great.
And you know what the pleasing thing is? Both cars have finished without any issues. But normal end of race procedures, lovely. Let's get to the podium, because we've got a podium on debut.
Lando Norris can be proud. What a fantastic performance from him. This podium is a true recognition of everyone who's been working so hard for this result. And after such a fabulous drive here today, it's no surprise to see this man land on the podium.
I mean, it's a little bit different to see Charles Leclerc in a Red Bull uniform, it must be said. But I think a driver of the day, do you give it to Mick Schumacher? We were very critical of him early in the race, but did very well, gaining 11 positions and getting the fastest lap. Daniel Ricciardo, wow, on the podium for McLaren. Who would have thought it, eh? Especially in real life, but this is an alternate universe. Danny Ricciardo is on the podium for McLaren. Aston Martin, Carlos Sainz did very, very well. Ocon and Guan Yu Zhou, P6 and 7. You can't grumble for that for Lotus Renault. McLaren again, Perez P8, Bottas P9 in the Mercedes, Alexander Albon P10. Max Verstappen did not score a point. Driver standings wise, obviously it is as is. Lando Norris leads the Drivers' Championship. Lovely to see. Constructor standings wise, we're on 36 points. Red Bull only on 19. Look at that Lotus Motorsport sign. What a beautiful image that is. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed that first race. I've very much enjoyed it. It's freshened it up, it's re-energised it all. And I hope to see you next week for the next race. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and we'll see you later. Ta-ra!